Hello everyone, thank you for joining us on this edition of The Insight. I am Bable Jonathan. Studies in the area of employment in Cameroon reveal that, as it is the case in other less developed countries, unemployment is alarming in President Paul Biya's country. Result of surveys on unemployment are quite disturbing. Macro trend statistics show that unemployment rate in Cameroon for 2020 was 3.62%, a 0.3% increase from 2019. Among the causes of unemployment highlighted by experts in Cameroon is the curriculum, especially at the higher education level, which do not match training to the requirements of the labor market. And that is, the educational structure is not professionally oriented enough to respond adequately to exigencies of the job market. Or better still, enterprises getting a job after school becomes difficult because of the lack of professional abilities, hence unemployment. And the multi-million-dollar question is how to balance the training, employability and job equation, and some Cameroonians are striving to solve this difficult equation. Among them, Clara Ngando Adam, a certified chartered accountant with an MBA from the Coventry University in the United Kingdom, found out the strides. I will tell you more about this later. And Richard Ita Ayuk, fellow chartered certified accountant with over 20 years of work experience with multinational companies, co-founder and chief executive officer of the Stride. They are the brains behind the e-learning program, sparking a digital unemployment revolution in view of solving the unemployment problem in Cameroon and beyond. Meet our guest in some few seconds. Our guest today, Richard Ita Ayuk, is a fellow chartered certified accountant with more than 20 years of experience in senior management in multinational companies. He is co-founder, president and chief executive officer of the Stride, founder and leading consultant in introducing, guiding, building businesses willing to venture into the emerging markets of Africa. Richard is a council member with Gezen Lehman Group in New York, United States of America, in collaboration with the Commonwealth expert assigned to the University of Buea in the Southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. Richard introduced the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants ACCA program in Cameroon and was the first president of the ACCA students in Cameroon, International Assembly member for ACCA representing West Africa, and was member of the board of directors of MTN Guinea-Conakry, where he served as chief financial officer and chief executive officer from 2015 to 2017. Richard Ayuk, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Babila.
Thank you for joining us today to discuss one of the major problems affecting a good chunk of the population of Cameroon, especially young people who are suffering from this acute problem of unemployment. What's your analysis of this problem in Cameroon today?
Yes, Mr. Babila, thank you for giving me the opportunity to express what I have found out for quite a long time now. During my experience when I was working in MTN Cameroon and beyond, I found out that in Cameroon, the educational system is so perfect. They train the people, the students up to the university level. They are very well educated. But there's an embedding problem which makes it a bit difficult for them to get jobs. So they are well educated. They read history, geography, mathematics, physics, and they do very well. Some of them have even taken upon themselves to do extra things to upgrade themselves to be able to get jobs. And so it creates a problem when they have all of these good qualifications, and when they are called for interviews, they ask them, what can you do? They actually cannot say what they can do. They are well educated, but they don't have practical things that they can point out that they can do. If you do mathematics in the university, you go and they call you for an interview, you can't say what you can do. Now, we are looking at, if you look at that problem, it creates a situation where people have their qualifications and they end up on the streets driving motorbikes, driving taxis, which is not commensurate with what their aspirations are. And so it creates that problem where we have a lot of people out there who do not have jobs because they are well educated, they have gone to school, they have their degrees, but they don't have practical things that they can show that they can do to add value to the community. So it creates a problem that increases the unemployment rate in Cameroon.
And once a competitive entrance examination is launched for 200 places, you have about 5,000 running in and struggling to get position.
Correct.
And that's quite disturbing. And now, what explains this gap between training in higher institutions of learning in particular and the exigencies of the job market?
I think there is a little bit of a gap because the training that is offered is in these higher institutions is purely academic. It is not tailored towards doing, actual job execution, what is actually practiced now on the world stage. So our curriculum is more and more in theories, teaching theories and how things work, but not showing people practically how they should do things and to achieve results. I think that's the main issue which happens. So people are well educated, they know a lot of theory, but they don't know practice. They don't know how to do, because the key thing in job is what can you do. That's a key question. So our curriculum
and the qualifications come later after that question.
Yes.
What can you do?
Yes. So if you have had your degree, you need to have an add-on. An add-on means you have some extra training which gives you certification that will enable you to do something according to that training, because that training enables you, it teaches you what to do. And at that time, you are capable of saying that, oh, I can do this, I can do that. Let me take a typical example. A student who does accounting in the university, yes, he has done accounting in theory. He is not an accountant yet. If he goes and studies a certification like ACCA or any diploma in ACCA, which gives you hands-on training, then he can now confidently say, I can do this type of work in a company. I can practice. I can actually do this in a company, and it will add value. For example, you have to do financial analysis to interpret financial statements and tell your bosses where the company is going practically, because you have done the practical training and you understand specifically what is happening in industry instead of looking at it from the perspective of the theory.
Today you're based in the United States of America, but you're certainly following up what's happening back home here. Yes. Were you surprised recently when you saw university lecturers on the streets protesting in front of the Ministry of Higher Education, asking for better working conditions? And we had people like Dr. Nick Nguyen, the president, the founder and president of St. Louis University Institute, saying that these professors, they're not supposed to be there. These lecturers, with all the knowledge that they have acquired throughout their academic journey, they're not supposed to be on the street. They're supposed to be creating jobs. They're supposed to be doing practical things that wouldn't be putting them, that would not put them at a tight corner where they're depending on salary, depending on some advantages and so on.
Yes, exactly. That's where I'm coming in to say that the educational system trains people academically. They understand. We are not underlooking the qualifications that they have, because Cameroonians are really very intelligent people. So they have these qualifications, but practically, what can they do? And you see, most of them are driven towards teaching, which is what you read and tell the students what is there. But what I'm looking at and saying that there's a problem is that people need to have practical training to say that they can do. Let's take another example which is not foreign. For example, like a mechanic. A mechanic would tell you that if your car does this, I will do this and I will fix it. And you fix it practically and you see it. And that's why we are looking at things like currently what is happening in the world. The trend is going towards digital transformation. The world is currently on a digital transformation journey, the fourth revolution. And with that in mind, Cameroon has to be on board that kind of a journey to embark on people who have had their degrees and they don't yet have jobs, and they get trained so that they acquire this kind of technical skills that they can use in the technical transformation of the country. Because this country, we really need people who can transform this country in the technology aspect, which is what is en vogue. We all know how COVID has come, what COVID is doing, and we have to take advantage of what is happening.
Impact on the economy and individuals, persons doing business here and there, and so on, offering services. Now, when you look at this problem of the educational system, which is more focused on theory, focused on academics, just some subjects or courses that are not really practical, or that are not practical enough to put a person on a path to success in a particular domain, what is the impact on efforts to develop the country and even individual efforts to thrive?
You see, and that's where, like I said, it is hard. If you have the theory, you have the theory, yes, but you don't have the practical. You don't know what to do to thrive. You need to put yourself in the leading edge, especially in technology and in other certification. I'm talking about technology because technology is the key now. That is where everything is converging. We have to onboard into the journey, the digital transformation train, because it is moving. The world is moving. If you look around the globe now, let's say in the United States of America, where I come from now, it's so fast that people. Scrum Master, for example, is a course that everybody is jumping into because it is agile project management, where you can stay in Cameroon and you control projects in America, in France, in Britain, and it is project management. It is agile. It is using technology to transform project management into another way.
You certainly tell us more about that in a short while. But first, let us talk about this issue of mentality, perception, which seems to be what is keeping many in that little box of theory. Many will not understand what you're saying now because they're just looking at a child speaking good English, speaking good French, and things like that. And the people are gradually adapting what you're saying now. That is practice, the professional studies. But many are still thinking, the white-collar job direction.
Yeah. I think the white-collar job is not out of the equation. But what is out of the equation is actually knowing how to do things, to deliver, to add value in the things that you do. Let me take a typical example of somebody working in MTN, for example, or in Orange, or in any of the banks around. There are things, you see, the transactions that occur there in the system, those transactions generate information, and that information needs to be processed. And that processing of that information needs technical knowledge, and it needs training, and it needs certification. For you to have access even from those information, you need to prove that you have this kind of technical expertise, and that technical expertise is certified by some certifying body, which you will show that you are master of this kind of thing, of executing this kind of thing, like especially data, where you have access to a lot of information, and you play with that information and make it generate more money. If we take the case of, let's say, social media, if the way social media functions, there's a huge potential in social media that can be used to generate a lot of money. Where if somebody does something like digital marketing, he goes into that. If that information is on there, people are like MTN. People are using calls. MTN has a database of people who have cell phones, and this database has the people, and then the actions that the people do with their phones are recorded in their phones in that database. a marketing marketing expert will look at, a digital marketer will look at that information and can transform it and give it to another company that sells, say, like let's say Nestle. He can get information and know that these people, segment the groups of people and target them for advertisement, so that they send specific information to specific people. But if you do not have that kind of information, that you don't know how to mine that information, where you should be a data scientist to do that kind of information,
to analyze it properly and anticipate and take actions that will produce the returns.
Yes, and that is what I'm coming at to say that now you have academic qualification, good, but do you have that practical knowledge that you can exploit that kind of information and turn that information from just information to money, to actual value, which will benefit companies, will benefit the society, even the way people are reacting to situations.
Right, and that is where the strides is striving to take people to, so that they can thrive.
Correct.
All right, in a short while we will talk more about the content of that initiative that is coming, like a revolution in the digital and employment area in the Republic of Cameroon, and why not beyond. Time for us to go to the newsstands, and we're going to take a look at what the newspapers reported this week. Immaculate Fogui with the press review. We'll be right back in a short while.
The Garden Post says prominent businessman Tala Ibrahim and Che Henry gets killed in a scuffle with a soldier at a hotel in Bamenda. The Post Weekender reports Northwest governor justifies shooting of 2 civilians by a soldier by saying the incident was as a result of drunkenness. Another edition of the Garden Post exclaims, ban on the circulation of motorbikes, Padrongdu divisional officer throws in the towel. Separatists jubilate as they claim victory, given that the DO cowardly lifts ban. As reported by The Voice, forced deportation of asylum seekers, international rights group seeks U.S. temporary protected status for Cameroon. Newswatch, Aloysius Fondong is a new shepherd of the Manthe Dowses. The media questions the fate of the Lions coach Antonio Conceição while wondering if Samuel Eto'o will disrupt the Yaoundé establishment. The Advocate, Limbe set for Andrew Mutanga, City Mayor of Limbe, as they wish him farewell as the burial is to take place on Saturday 26th. Eden, financing decentralization, Northwest mayors urge government to hasten disbursement. Municipal updates, government unveils new local development vision. Eco Outlook, Cameroon's banana production expected to boom in 2022.
We are still with our guest, Richard Ita Ayuk, who is a certified chartered accountant with over 20 years of experience in multinational companies handling senior management positions. And he's here in Cameroon, coming from the United States of America, where he's based, with the vision, with the purpose, with the objective of transforming Cameroonians, notably in the domain of digital transformation. Now he's going to tell us more about that, and this the purpose of this, Richard, is to bridge that gap, is to take many from the can say the side of unemployment to the other side of employment, of practical things, not only practical things, but things that produce, things that put food on the table, because that's the end of the day. Things that can help you to help another person next to you, things that can help to develop the nation. Tell us more about this.
Yeah, my stay in the United States and the experience I built in Cameroon and the knowledge I have about the country prompted me to explore. And in that process, I came into contact with very strong digital transformation companies, and they gave me the opportunity to come with that kind of experience in Cameroon. And so I've come to Cameroon to try to open up, to bridge that gap, because I know there are very, very intelligent children and people in Cameroon.
Right, before you go forward, let me just open a little bracket there to get our viewers to know something about you. I believe it's going to be inspiration to many because there's something very, very interesting about you, and many Cameroonians may not believe this, that somebody resigns from a job where he's paid millions or more than $1 million, and then decides to go over to the United States with a vision. And then how did this happen? Tell us about yourself. How did you grow up to that position in MTN? And then how did you manage to say, okay, let me drop this $1 million job, let me go and do something else?
Yeah, fundamentally, I'm a teacher. I was trained in Ecole Normale Bambili. I'm a mathematics teacher, and I taught mathematics in Government High School Bengui and Government High School Muyuka. And I had inspiration to think that my life should end beyond that, because I dream very big. And so I left the teaching field and started the ACCA program at University of Buea, and went to England and qualified as a chartered accountant. And then I came back to Cameroon and worked in Akale & Co. chartered accountants, worked in Sonair, and then moved into MTN. And in MTN, I continued. Now, this story for me getting to the chartered accounting field is a long story. But as soon as I got certified, as a teacher, I was teaching, yes, that was like a profession. But I wanted to do something more. And once I qualified as a chartered certified accountant, the story became different. I could deliver more to the people, and I saw that the professional training that I did just changed my life 360 degrees. And in MTN, I continued to move. I entered MTN as a manager, and I moved as senior manager, and from senior manager, I moved as chief financial officer, and then chief executive officer.
The professional studies which you did,
it is the professional study was the basis.
Was something that propelled you to another level.
Correct.
Some teachers are certainly listening to you today, and many other professionals, including journalists like myself, and that step will be a recommended one for every other person. Yes.
So I'm encouraging our brothers and sisters in Cameroon to, after having done your academic, look at a professional certification program that is of interest to you and get into it. The way you will develop will be, you yourself will be very amazed. I mean, there are many out there, because once I started studying ACCA, I brought in a lot of friends. I have a friend who was the director of development in the University of Buea, who was my classmate. He joined me and we did the ACCA. Today, he is the director of the audit director of an international company that produces trains in the United States of America. He visits all countries around the globe to do that job. You see, the dream, he did not end as a development officer in the development director in the University of Buea, but look at where he is. I have another friend who was a teacher with me, was teaching economics in Government High School Muyuka. He too, I motivated him when I started doing this program. He joined me. Today, he is the deputy director of United Nations in Niger. I have a host of them who followed the suit that we did professional education, and we moved on. In Cameroon, even currently, like the regional finance director of EcoBank is also a friend with whom we did the same. He was a young man that we motivated, and he had his degree in accounting in the University of Buea, and they did the certification, and the rest is history, because he's a top guy in the country. So professional certifications take you places, because you can do. You say, I can do this. I have a lot of friends who have done a lot of this professional stuff, that after you have your academic qualification, which gives you a leading edge, you need a top-up. That top-up is a certification that is international, so that you can work from anywhere. You can go to any country you fit. And so the dream I had, and as fundamentally a teacher, I saw this opportunity of training people, and then I partnered with this well-renowned body which gives certifications of Microsoft, AWS, Facebook, what have you. All
talking about ACCA.
Oh, yes, and ACCA SIPS, that's Chartered Institute of Purchasing and Supply Chain. I'm collaborating with an institution in England that is bringing world-class top lecturers that will teach the program, like the IT programs that we are currently running.
Earlier I said you were the first president of the ACCA students in Cameroon, and you're the one in collaboration with the Commonwealth Expert Center, the University of Boya, who introduced that program here in Cameroon. Now tell us about how you managed to drop a job with such a very appealing salary, more than $1 million, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, a significant amount. I mean, my last job that I dropped was significant. I mean, the CEO of MTN or Chief Financial Officer of MTN, you can understand. It's not. I don't need to say that.
What prompted you to drop?
It's you see, the desire to develop people. I like helping people thrive. People who know me know that wherever I go, I try to help young people. I have a host of young people in Cameroon that I have nurtured, I have helped from nothing to something. And my coaching is for them to develop themselves. And that has been very, very successful. So I've come now on a global scale where it is open to everybody to say, use this opportunity.
That's quite interesting there. You know, this is what sometimes it's missing in our actions. The desire, the quest to reach out to the next person, to reach out to other people. And that's probably what took you out of your comfort zone. I can imagine that you were probably comfortable in those jobs that you handled before, in those senior management positions. And just like maybe even as a teacher, you were somehow comfortable to a certain extent. And many are comfortable and they're just staying in that comfort zone. And that's where the barrier of the comfort zone establishes itself, and thus the need to break that barrier. And the question is how to break that barrier.
You see, the issue is you have to dream big. You have to think high to rise. If you don't think high, you will not rise. So when you think high, you will rise. And so thinking high means you look at the next big thing in front of you and set it as an objective to attain. You will certainly attain that, because everything starts with an imagination. If you imagine yourself somewhere and you think about it and then you act, you will be there. That is actually the fundamental theory that I think people should have. Think big and think high, and you rise. And then you take the challenges, but fundamentally you think about your environment. Let's look at the Western world, for example. How have they managed to increase the working class? The middle class is huge. The poor class is very small, and then the top class is also very small. My ambition is to try to push Cameroonians with what I'm bringing into the country from the poor part of the social strata to move upwards. And you cannot move upwards if you don't personally make an effort to take yourself up. We are exposing this for people to see, so that they can take that opportunity and come out of the cocoon and get themselves into the middle class and help other people. Because the more the middle class become larger, the better the society. Cameroon needs that for us to grow. And I think if people look at where I come from and to where I am and what I'm trying to reach out as an example, and the other examples I just quoted a few minutes ago, it will change this society. It will make its very serious impact in the society. And that is my aim, and why I came back with this, and especially now where we are in the fourth revolution. The fourth revolution is the digital transformation of the world. COVID has come and added it onto it, where people are working from home. And if you have to work from home, you have to work digital. And so people should learn how to do all of these trainings that we have brought, so that they can be able to get jobs, stay from home and work. In America, it's amazing. You see a young boy who is about 27 years old. He has 3 jobs working from home, 3 computers in front of him, and he is working because he is a Microsoft certified, and he is working from home and earning 3 salaries and making good money. So I brought this to Cameroon so that people should be able to see and work and help themselves. and change society.
Young people and every other person listening to you now will want to know more about these trainings, these courses that you're telling them that it's going to propel them from poverty to some kind of satisfaction, not necessarily billions, but to some kind of satisfaction. Why not the billions? Of course. So tell us more about these courses. Earlier you were talking about data science with Python certification.
Yes. Yeah, we have data science with Python certification. These are technology programs that, especially, like, let me dwell on the data science. Data science, you have the knowledge to analyze data, which is what I just expressed. Because data is the bedrock of all information. If you understand how to manipulate data and make use of that data, then you are in the top edge. You are somewhere that you're going to make money. So the certification programs that we have brought are the certification programs that will enable you to work in a company and you add value to that company. Let's take MTN. MTN has how many million subscribers? More than 10 million subscribers. Those subscribers, each of them has information. Each of them has transactions that they do over the internet, over the MTN network. Those activities that they carry on the network is information. So you can get somebody's information on the network and understand the person's needs, and then you tailor things and do it according to the person. If you look like Facebook, for example, if you go to Facebook, once you visit a certain page 2-3 times, you will see sometimes some similar information comes to you that is related to what you were looking for. That is the work that is being done by digital marketers. People who have done that training, and they study you along your journey, how you are using your cell phone, and they know those things, and then those things are set at the background that generate information that will please you. You can do things easier, and the world changes.
You're talking there about the advanced social media certification program.
Correct.
That puts someone on the track to be able to do what you're saying now, to use the social media and make as much money as possible.
Correct. So you can you do that. There are ways you can do that and get employed, and you work for a company. Like I was talking to a friend the other day. See, if you do, let's say you do digital marketing where you use social media to give information. You in a short while you can set a mammoth enterprise where you employ young people who are doing data mining, and that data mining is now used to advertise, to get information out there, and that is money, and that's creating employment. So if you do any of our programs where it's an add-on and then you work, you can create an enterprise that would employ more people. You will earn money, they too will earn money. From these companies need people to do work for them, and
there are more than 150 cutting-edge IT and digital transformation courses and certification in the partnership with Simply Learn and Devier. And of course, we are talking about a Scrum Master, for example, which you were talking about earlier, digital strategy for brand marketing, CCSP, certified cloud security professional, and we're also talking about project management professional certification, agile scrum master certification, AWS big data certification training, introduction to a robotic process automatic, and we're also talking about full stack Java developer, and these are all courses that among others, more than 50 courses.
There's a wide range of courses, that we have brought, where we have opened up all of this range of courses so that people can make their choices. And once you make your choice and you do it, there are various ways. If you want to work for somebody, you will work, you will have job. It is so clear, like I just quoted. If in America people can be having 4 or 5 jobs, like recently, if we go to the internet, as recent as last week, MTN has transformed. You go to the internet, you see MTN is looking for 150 Scrum Master experts from MTN Group. It's on the internet. If you are, so imagine what will happen in the next few months. What is happening in all the companies in Cameroon? Pricewaterhouse, they have a digital transformation department now. All companies are having digital transformation departments. So workers that are in companies currently need to upskill, because if they don't upskill, they'll become redundant. People who are out there looking for
obsolete.
jobs, yes, they become obsolete. They will not have jobs to do. Young men who are coming up, they need to upskill so that they can have opportunities to work in companies. So there's a huge opportunity out there for people to grasp. Study one of these programs and you find it. Honestly, if you do any of the programs that I have brought into Cameroon, there is no way that you will stay without a job, because there are young men currently in the Cameroonian market who are doing software development. They are developing softwares, they are building websites, but they have not been certified.
Right. I was going to ask you a question about international certification.
Yes.
Because some of these courses are offered by some of the higher institutions of learning that are here in Cameroon.
Yes.
But what's the added value of international certification?
Yeah. See, international certification, like all of us know, it means that you can go to anywhere with that same certification. You are equivalent to everybody around the globe. The programs that we are bringing is the programs that once you get the certification, you go to Australia, you have any other person who has the same qualification, the certification is the same like you. You go to France, you'll be recognized. You go to any country, it's the same. If you have a Microsoft certification, it's a Microsoft certification. If you have an AWS certification, it's an AWS certification. It's the same wherever you are. Like even parents who think that their children should go overseas, instead of sending a child to go overseas and study and start doing that, if he has a degree and he has a higher ambition, you give him 3 months, 6 months training in Cameroon in one of these certifications. On arrival in the US, in France, in Britain, in Australia, on arrival he will have a job, because he has that certification that is internationally recognized and is in demand. Not just being recognized, it is recognized and is in demand. So this is the encouragement we are giving people with the opportunity we are giving people to. I'm encouraging people to onboard and get the right stuff.
Now, how accessible are these courses, and what are the requirements?
Now, the requirement actually for you to do the courses is available for everyone who can read and write and is versatile with the computer. But I will add that it is important to have a broader base of education. Because if you have a first degree and you are doing a program, your mindset is also tailored in a way that is important to
assimilate.
Your rate of assimilation and comprehension is a little bit different, and even your social skills are a little bit different. I encourage that people, especially those who have degrees, master's degrees, even MBAs, to do this kind of certification so that they can have an opportunity. However, those who do not have are not left out. They can do it. What I'm just saying is that
but they'll have to do a little more.
Yeah, they
have to go the extra mile.
Yeah, they have to go the extra mile
to meet up.
To meet up, and then also their sellability. You bear me witness that if you have 2 candidates, one has a degree and has a certification, and one has just an A-levels and has a certification, the one who has a degree would necessarily look much better in front of you, even though it does not mean that he is more proficient. But in the face of it, you first of all appreciate the man who has a degree because he has added something.
It's important to get a certain standard, a certain level of education, qualification.
Correct.
And then the trainings will come like a booster to actually put some
flesh
to what you already have.
Yes.
And now
that's why the programs are not long programs. Our program, the certification programs, are 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 1 year. So if you do any of those programs and you add the certification on what you already have, then your sellability goes more than 80%. The probability of getting a job or even developing your own strategy to create a business becomes, increased by 80%.
All right. So how accessible are these courses? What do you told us the other day at the press conference that anyone who wants to take one of these courses just needs a computer and then maybe
network. Yes. If all what you need to do these programs is a computer and network. Now, what we have brought is that our content providers are internationally recognized instructors, and they are all over the world. But they provide the content through our partner, and our partner now gives us access to that content. So when you come through us, then we will give you access to that content. We have a special negotiation that it has made it easier and cheaper, because we negotiated by saying that our Cameroonian context is a little bit, we are in sub-Saharan Africa, and Africa does not have as much money as people in the United States or in England. So the prices that are given to people for them to access, because the objective is to get people trained and get them into workforce. So if we can debate those prices and make it cheaper for you at that level, it's easier, it's better, and then I think it's easy to get on board and do some professional training.
Right, we're going to take some interviews now, interviews of the week, and we'll be right back in some few minutes. Interviews of the week. Right, I said we're going to take some interviews now, and after interviews of the week, we'll continue telling you how to take a leap from unemployment to employment, and not just employment, but decent employment. Stay with us.
The fake Amber General Mombasa lying here has been a thorn in the flesh of the population of Kumbatu sub-division. He has killed so many innocent souls. He has extorted a lot of money from the poor population of the sub-division, and he has frustrated so many lives. His atrocities had already reached its apogee, and the military have continued to do their work, and today he has fallen. Meanwhile, the head of state have been calling on these guys who are in the bushes to come out, because there is no future in the nonsense they are doing in the bushes. And I think the population is very, very happy, especially some of his victims are very, very happy that at last Mombasa is gone.
Okay, this morning at about 8 a.m. in the morning, when I just came to the market, I sit beside my table where I'm selling. I heard an explosive just about 20 meters away from my table here. Then when I look at it, I saw fire under a table where a certain woman is selling there. Then there are some boys beside there that they wash, they clean fowls. When women buy fowl, they clean it. So those boys took water, poured on that fire and put it off. Then after about a minute, I went there with other people who were around. Went there I saw something like a battery, like a motorcycle battery, which was connected with the cover of a bucket. There were some cables there, showed that there were some connections, and that bucket was cut. They were put inside a bucket. They saw the bucket was scattered, which showed that there was sand inside. They put it with the sand. So somebody prepared it and put it with sand, but all indications show that it was something that somebody prepared it and put it there. So that's how it happened like that. Then after about 30 minutes like that, the police, we saw the first appearance of the first police came there, and then the commissioners came and many other policemen came, big policemen came there, and we saw policemen with 5 stars, 6 stars. They were there. They came with so much with apparel. Then they say all of us here that we are selling here, we should pack because they have to do a lot of search around here. So we pack our things and put them back in the magazine in the store. Then they search everything, search. Then because they said that we should pack, everybody should go home. After when we pack, some people left. Those of us that will have goods that they are perishable goods, we have to stay behind because they said that we'll start selling back by 2 o'clock. By 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So we waited until when they finished. Thank God they finished before that 2 o'clock, and they left. They say, okay, we can now start selling. That's why you see around here, most of the people selling here, they have gone home already. It's only a few of us that are remaining here now that we are trying to sell, because our good were perishable. We cannot go home and allow them, they will get bad. So that's what happened this morning. But we thank God there was no casualty, there was nobody's were hurt, nobody's was wounded, and that's how it happened this morning.
The International Mother Language Day is celebrated here in College Liberman with different cultural groups. We have the Gomalas, we have the Basa group, the Fulfulde, and also people from the grass field. We have fairy tales, we have proverbs, we have songs, and we have also other special dances that celebrate the beauty of our cultural language. Try to value mother tongue by teaching it. We used to teach here Gomala, Basa, Douala, and Fulfulde. These are the 4 languages taught in this school.
Those were interviews of the week, and we continue with our discussion on the problem of unemployment, how to solve the unemployment question in the Republic of Cameroon, and also how to get people equipped to be able to take the necessary steps, to take the necessary decisions in order to move out of this cycle of unemployment affecting a good proportion of the population of the Republic of Cameroon and other developed or underdeveloped nations where majority are living below the poverty line, and it's becoming quite difficult, especially with the increasing cost of living in the Republic of Cameroon. For example, basic commodity is becoming expensive, and many people, households, finding it quite difficult to cope with the difficult living conditions. But this is something that can take you out of that to a position where you'll be able to meet up with all those challenges. Richard, tell us more about these courses and the accessibility. Now, somebody who is listening to you now and will want to take one of these courses, what is he expected to do?
Now, if you want to take one of the courses, we are out here, we are there. The Strides is it's our company that has come with all of this. So we just get to our website, you get connected. On our website, you have every detail about every course and its course content, which it carries, and you will see everything, every detail, and then you make your choice. You don't need to come to our office, but if need be, you call us, because on our website you will go, you will register, you pay your fees online. Once you pay your fees online, we will contact you by phone, and then when we contact you by phone, we'll tell you all what you are supposed to do, and then we send you your timetable so that you can choose the times that you want to study. And the way we do it, our studies are programmed. It's a boot camp kind of studies where you have an online portion of it, which is about 23%. You have 60% where you have an instructor, an international instructor who teaches you live in a live class where you are there with other students from all around the globe. You have the opportunity to ask questions, and after that you have an instructor-led sessions that you do for about 14% of the program, and then you write a project. That part of it, you do it with a live project. You work in a company like you are on internship, and after that you write a project. There are 2 sessions after you finish that. There are 2 possible routes. Some courses we will give you the certification. That is, our company and our partners will give you the certification. Others, we will prepare you and register you for the international qualification, and then you write the certification exam, and you get the international certification, and you are ready to go. You are ready for the job market.
Right, all the information on www.thestrides.org. And now, is it possible for anybody to take any course, regardless of his or educational background? If somebody studied geography, history, is it possible to take any of those digital transformation courses?
Perfectly, yes. Everybody, all what you need is to be versatile with the computer. You can solve the web, then you are ready. If you have your degree, you have a degree in English, We all know, we have, many of us out here have brothers and sisters who are in the United, who left here with degrees in English, and they are in the United States of America. They are nurses, they are doctors. They did not read even chemistry in advanced level or anything like that. But they are doctors. Most of them are nurses, registered nurses, and it's going. So the first degree in any subject, it gives you a basis, the basis that opens up your brain. Now the professionalism, the training that you want to undertake, you can take any training after a first degree. That is my belief. And I have seen it happening everywhere. So we don't have any specific that you should be an engineer or you should be a mathematician or a physicist,
science,
or science or art. It is your calling. What do you really want to do it? The human being is God made us an amazing being that we have the capacity to do anything that we want to do.
Right. Now, you mentioned something important, your calling. So it's not just about seeing that, okay, I can have millions in accounting and then you jump there.
Yeah.
I can have some millions in digital data science and then you jump there. You should have a calling.
Yeah,
you should have a passion.
Yes, because normally, remember, if you have a fundamental interest in something, you do it with passion and you will do it perfectly well. So that's why I say a calling, so that you respect that and follow your dream, because it is your dream. If you don't follow your dream, then I'm saying so because me, for example, fundamentally I wanted to be somebody somewhere, counting money, talking big money, and that's why I went into accounting, and it perfectly fits me because that's what I like, and I did that. But once I was in there, I saw that I could expand, and then I started growing into the field, and I became a manager. Then I'm controlling people to do the work, and the rest of it is history. So if you have a calling and you are moving, you should aim for the top, and when you get there, you will move up. So
passion will help you to overcome barriers.
Correct. Passion, and passion. You see, one of the issues we have, and which is what I'm struggling to build into young people that I come across with, is that you should try to get out of your comfort zone. The comfort zone makes you very comfortable, and then in the future you don't achieve as much. Get yourself out of the comfort zone and see how it is hot out there, and then you battle it, and then you survive, because you survive. Honestly, when you get out of your comfort zone, you will not just rise, you will drop, but you will rise, because life is a cycle. It has disappointments, it has achievements. So you will rise and you fall, and you will rise and fall. But that rise and fall has an upward trend in terms of your graph. If you look at it keenly, you will rising and falling, but rising globally when you get out of your comfort zone.
Rising and falling.
Yes.
Not falling and remaining there.
Yeah, no. Because when you rise, you build I usually tell my friends, when you rise, you build a concrete slab. That concrete slab is building a little bit of strong foundation. So that when you struggle to climb again, when you reach up, you are falling, you will not go beyond that concrete slab. So you already have a platform. Then when you grow, again, you build another platform, and that platform is kind of training. You keep training and you keep training. Like, I trained fundamentally as a chartered accountant. After that, I went to business school to do business management, an MBA, but it was tailored. It was a training to manage business. After that, I did that in Oxford Brookes University in the UK. After that, I went again to Harvard Business School to train on how to build businesses in emerging markets, and I'm doing it. So I'm coming to Africa. I'm coming here to build this kind of structure to help people, and there are many more things that are in the pipeline that will build and build and build and build and build and construct and change society.
Right. Now, as we are proceeding with this discussion, one question that will certainly be going through the mind of those who are watching us now will be concerning money. And when we talk about accessibility to the course, it's also about the cost of to the courses. It's about the cost of the training. Is it affordable for the average Cameroonian to be able to meet up with the requirements, the financial requirements, in order to obtain these international certifications?
Yes, I thought through all the process. I mean, remember, fundamentally, I was a teacher, and you can understand what us teachers were earning in the. I mean, when we had the crisis hit. So
some of them are even striking now.
Yeah. So
testing everyone asking for.
Yeah. Sure. So if you look at that, I took into consideration all of that. So in bringing the programs here, the international programs that we are bringing here, we made sure that what is priced in the Western world is not what is priced in Africa. I said that before. And then secondly, we are considering, we are tailoring our system in such a way that people can pay their fees in installments. We have not yet completed that process, but we are in the process of tailoring in such a way that you pay as you go, so that it becomes lighter. But fees are not expensive. The highest fees cannot be more than 750,000, and the lowest is about 200,000.
Between 200 and 750,000.
Yes. So I think it is affordable for the value that it gives, because it's a negotiated price, first of all, and then secondly, we are adding the component of instrumental payments for those who cannot afford to pay at one time.
All right. Now, before we round up, if you were to tell some parents today who are listening to you and they're interested in what you're talking about, and they have their children go to school, what will you advise them to do? Because there is this issue of we know that in the Western world, for example, some of these trainings start from the tender ages, not really the tender ages per se, at an early part of the lives of the citizens in those developed nations, where they are tailored towards a particular direction according to their passion, their interests, and they begin to follow that trend until before they get to a certain age, they are already experts in a certain domain. And it's easy to see the young people who are digital experts, wonderful digital experts, engineers, and so on. What will you advise a parent?
See, like I talked about, for parents, children should go to the schools like we have, because we don't have the means like the Western world to give them all those computers at the age that the children out there have. But we see that by the time children start going to secondary school, they have phones. So they are digitally aware. Our children now are far better off than when we were their age in terms of the digital knowledge that they have. So that is a good thing. But to enhance it, I think I'll encourage parents, let your children go to the proper schools, get their proper education. Because, like I said before, our curriculum is good. It teaches the theory, but it expands the brain. That's why you even see some parents are in America, they send their children to come to Cameroon and go to some good secondary schools before going back to the United States. It shows that our system is good. The system in Cameroon is good. The additional thing is, once your child finishes, say, is about to finish degree it's about to finish the degree, now plan to add a certification, a professional certification of the child's calling. Pay that little money for that 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. The child does that certification and is ready for the job market. It's very important. Don't leave it at the level that the child has had a degree and then the child is there and goes for an interview, cannot say what he can do. Give that child the extra push to get that certification, that he can go somewhere and say, this is what I have been trained to do and I can do it.
Right. It is often said that failing to plan is planning to fail.
Correct.
So plan to obtain an international certification, especially in the digital domain, which is the focus, the epicenter of the world today.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for coming. Thank you very much, Richard Ita Ayuk. You are a fellow chartered certified accountant with more than 20 years of experience in senior management positions in multinational companies. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Babila. I'm very pleased for you having me in your studio today.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for this edition of The Insight. Goodbye.